Welcome to the exciting world of image de-identification. Briefly, this is running on my local server, but I'll be posting this online a little bit later, so you can play around with this if you want. So, let me walk you through the workflow. So, I have files on my computer that I want to make available. So I have, currently they're in an import directory. These include both files that actually match a pattern, as well as other random SVS files I threw in there to demonstrate something. Now, Scott gave me a CSV file that looked like this. It's just sort of made up data. I added two things. I added an input file, because this is just sample TCGA files I actually had, and then an output file. So these are the two things that are kind of important. So the way this works is you go into your WSI DID collection, go to available to process, which means these are ready to undergo de-identification. There's currently nothing in here. I hit import. This is walking that import directory I just showed you, and what it is doing, it is matching the file names against this manifest, and it's saying 6 images added, 7 not associated with a row. We also generate a report. So if I go back to that Excel file, I have sample IDs, case 1, 2, 3, 1, and then case 2, and then some other stuff. So what it's doing is it's taking all of these cases, case 1, and putting them all in the case 1 folder. It's taking all case 2 and putting them all in the case 2 folder. Now, one of the things that wasn't in there originally, and this is where we have a batch mode. So internally, if there are, these are lots and lots and lots of fields. This is essentially all of the internal metadata available. We're getting rid of some of these things, because some of these things you can't change, or they don't meet, there's no reason that you'd ever have changed the objective power, and there's no reason that anyone's going to change that or hack it. But then there's other fields where we could determine that we do want to redact it. And we have a set of internal rules that determines whether or not we show these things. Let me go back to the batch view. So what I want to do now is I'm clicking all 4 of these images. I scroll across and just eyeball it. What we're doing is we change any date, like in a year format, to the first day of the month, just so we have some we kind of keep some data information, but we kind of know the year, the ballpark, but we get rid of a lot of the detail that would make it PHI. There's other things, the scan scope ID, maybe we could determine that is something we want to redact, and we go in here and we would do that. And then these are essentially all the fields that we're currently exposing. As we update the rules, we'll stop exposing resolution unit. There's no reason that would be hacked. And more importantly, the rule will basically say if it is an inch, a millimeter, or whatever unit it is, we will keep it. Otherwise, we will still show it if it is not an enumerated value that we understand. So what I'm doing right now, by default, it will nerf the label and replace it with a custom label. It will nerf the first third of the macro image, and then it will follow the redaction rules. So I hit redact checked. What it's doing now is, if you remember, I had case 1 and case 2. It now, while this is running in the background, it says, okay, now do you want to work on case 2? I hit cool. I'll say I want to redact this one. I hit redact checked. Once something has gone through our redaction process, right, this is phase 1, I go back into the DID folder. Available means not redacted, but matches the schema, which I'll show you in a second. Redacted means we've now run these through our pipeline, but they haven't been exported. We want there to be a secondary review, so whoever is approving or doing the QA can look through and see whether or not there's anything that they still are afraid bled through. No, so far no. The other thing that's really cool is the label is now customized. I threw on the NCI barcode. I put on the title, which is the file name, and then this 2D data matrix actually has encoded all of this. All of the this internal. Where'd it go? A lot of junk in here. But I just saw it. I'm sorry. Here it is. There's all of this stuff, which is provided by SCADA, that CSV file. It encodes most, if not all, of this into the data matrix label that we've generated. And this can be changed depending. So once we've done that, we can hit approve. Once something has been approved, we go to the WSI DeID folder, available to process. Approved. We can now hit export recent. And what this will actually do is this actually will, in your likely case, it'll move those files or copy them to whatever destination, whatever directory or whatever asset store you wanted. So if I go down to my export directory, let me just delete everything in here. Boop, boop, boop. I hit refresh this. Do it again. I hit export all. You can see it generated the case 1. There's a DID export file, and then this is the de-identified thing. A couple other things that are kind of cool, or just to show you, if I go to if I go into this file, the schema can be customized in the future. These are the fields that Scott had said are going to be included and we want burnt into any additional files. And we can add validation rules saying a block has to be a number less than 2 digits, yada yada. The assay has to be H&E or one of these other values, and we'll use that for additional validation logic as things go.